Hi, I'm Mr. Lehner, and welcome back to another awesome episode of Mr. Lehner's Math Extravaganza. Today, we're going to focus on how to round fractions and whole numbers. Oh, what's that? Oh, you noticed my nice haircut? Well, actually, I didn't get a haircut. I got them all cut. It's alright, you can laugh. It's a joke. Oh, still not funny? I guess I better stick to teaching and not go into comedy. With that being said, let's move on. When you round fractions and mixed numbers, sometimes you're either going to round it to the nearest half. What that means is you're either going to round it to 0, a half, or a whole. Let's look at an example problem. If my fraction was 5 out of 6, one way to attack this is to draw out a picture for yourself. If I have my picture up here, for you visual learners, this might be easier for you to see. If it was 0, it would be 0 out of 6 that were shaded in. If it was a half, it would be 3 of the 6 that would be shaded in. And if it was a whole, it would be all 6 of the 6 shaded in. So I'm going to determine which is closest. Is 5, 6 closest to the 0, a half, or the whole? Well, there's 5 shaded in, so I'm 5 spaces away from 0. I'm really far away. I know that half of this would have to be 3 shaded in. Well, I'm 2 spaces away from my half, so I'm kind of close. And then I know that if all 6 were shaded in, that'd be 6, 6. I'm only 1 away from that. So looking at this picture, I would round up 5, 6 to a whole because I'm only 1 away from 6, 6. Another way to look is as I'm 2 spaces away from the half. So using a picture, I can determine how to round that number. Let's take a look at another strategy. Same fraction, 5, 6. Only this time, I put some other numbers up here. I put 0 out of 6, 3 out of 6, and 6 out of 6. It's the same concept I talked about with our picture, but I've just used it in fraction form. So 0 out of 6 is going to equal 0. 3, 6 is going to be a half. And 6 out of 6 is going to be a whole. So if I look at my numbers up here, well, 5, 6 is still 2 away from 3, 6, which would be a half. It's only 1 away from 6, 6, so if I rounded 5, 6, I would make my answer 1 if I was rounding it to the nearest half. All right? There's a couple different ways that we can attack these types of problems. Let's have you try one at home. Only this time, I'm going to give you guys a mixed number to see if I can throw you off. Your number is going to be 2 3/5. Go ahead, get that paper, get that pencil, pause this video, and we'll see what you guys come up with. Okay, when working with our mixed number, we're going to leave that whole number alone for the meanwhile. We're going to focus just on the 3/5. Now, when looking at 2 3/5, I'm going to round 3/5. I'm going to use my strategy here. I'm going to keep my denominator at the bottom. I know that 0 out of 5 would be 0. It's an odd number, so what's half of 5? Half of 5 is 2 1/2, and then 5 out of 5 would be my whole. So I've broke up my numbers a little bit. I still look at my numerator then. If I have the 3 on top, well, 3 is going to be 3 spaces away from 0. It's only going to be 0.5 or half away from 2.5, and it's going to be 2 whole spaces away from 5. So if I was rounding my 3/5, it's the closest to 2 1/2, so 3/5 I would round to a half. My answer for this problem would then be 2 1/2. If I was rounding 2 3/5 to the nearest half, the answer would be 2 1/2. If you had this one correct, awesome job. If you struggle with it, try some other practice problems and try a few different strategies. There's always more than one way to attack a problem. I'm Mr. Lehner. Thanks for tuning in to another awesome episode. We'll see you next time.